Hi everyone, this is Jim. Welcome to this Blitz chess postmortem video. This is a postmortem of my Blitz chess game number 164. I was white here and I kicked off with d4. My opponent played knight f6, play c4, all these very common moves. And now he plays an unusual move, c5. Top choices here, e6 and g6. Yeah, if you're going to play a Grinfeld, you play g6 first and then you play d5. So he played c5, and this can lead to the Benoni or to the Benko gambit. I play d5, the normal move, and he plays b5, so that makes it a Benko gambit. If he had played e6, or perhaps one of these other moves too, you would get into a Benoni, but he played b5, and I took. Now, it looks like there are alternatives to taking. Looks like knight f3 is the main one. So I wanted to explore this a little bit. If I were to play knight f3 here, new variation, says e6 is the most common reply, just trying to undermine the center from both sides. It's being attacked on the c file and attacked on the d file. Bishop g5, pinning the knight, ed, cd, and d6. So, and then e4. So we get a structure like this. It's interesting. E4 can be played here. I guess it's not safe to take the oh yeah, the knight is pinned. I was going to say this pawn is hanging, but the knight is pinned. So I guess he could play h6 here, and then you just take the knight if he plays that. Okay, so that's a way to play if you don't feel like accepting the Benko gambit. The way I normally play is to take, and then so b5, c takes. Yeah, so that's what we got in the game. And then he played a6, which is the idea of the Benko, just giving up the pawn and getting a bishop on a good square. So you can sort of diffuse this by playing the move b6. And so that prevents the bishop from coming out to the square a6. It gives the pawn back, and black can grab it right away, or he can wait for a while, but this is okay. And the knight c3 is a normal move. So we get a typical Benko structure, except black has not sacked a pawn, and he only has one open file to work with. In the Benko, he would have two open files, and he would also have a bishop on this diagonal, which would make it hard for me to finish developing in castle. So the advantage of giving up the pawn in this way is I can play e4 and develop my bishop in castle normally. So, but I'm still going to suffer pressure against the queenside pawns, and you'll see that happening later in the game. So after g6, one of the top two moves there, I play e4, d6, then I play queen c2. So it looks like queen c2 is not. Oh, it's an engine. It shows up in the engine evaluation there, but maybe not a top choice. Looks like knight f3 is the main idea here, just continuing with development. But it also looks like there's several different moves that could be played. h3, knight f3, bishop e2, and a4. I'm not sure what that's about. Okay, but I played the move queen c2, and now we're out of the opening book. So I think I'll stick with knight f3 next time. Queen c2, although I keep some advantage to the opening. Knight b d7, knight f3. So we're all just developing. Knight g4. I thought this was a bit premature, but the idea with the knight g4 is it's going to go back to the square on e5. So it doesn't matter if I kick it. It's got a good home to go to. So it's sort of a waste of time, in fact, to play the move h3 there and kick the knight, since the knight is going to go there of its own free will soon enough. So I played bishop e2. He went knight g to e5 and castle. So this is what I was talking about. It's a position where I get to castle, and my opponent gets the typical Benko pressure against the queen side, but it's a game with chances for both sides. It's not all one-sided. Now the chess engine thinks the best way for black to proceed is to go ahead and take this knight, and it keeps mentioning this idea throughout the next several moves. So let's take a look at it here. If knight takes f3, bishop takes, that's why the bishop was there. And then bishop g7, queen d8. Looks like either one of those moves. Let's try bishop g7, a more logical move from my point of view. And then bishop g5, just developing. Not sure about putting it on g5. Rook b1. Yeah, I would rather move the bishop first before moving the rook. Let's play bishop to e3. That's probably where I would put it anyway. And then castle. And okay, there's no big tactical point here. It just thinks that black is about even here. Okay. Instead of taking, he played the move bishop g7, and that's a very logical move. I think I would play something like that myself. And I get in b3 here. Now b3 maybe was a bit premature. It says I should play knight e1 or knight e1 or knight d2. So getting the knight off of this square and away from the knight on e5. I just wasn't worried about, or even taking the knight on e5. So I played b3, and he castles. Bishop b2. That was my idea with b3, was to get the bishop on this square. You'll see once again that the chess engine wants black to play knight takes f3 as a way to maintain that advantage it thinks that black has, or to at least maintain equality. So once again, yeah, instead of a4, it recommends knight takes f3. So rook a, c1. See, there it is, popping up again. Bishop a6. And now I should probably take some things. It's a little bit tricky here. If I let him take the bishop, he can take the knight with check, and I have to take back with a pawn. So I need to do something. I played the move knight to d2, so I just got the knight away from there. But now bishop takes e2. The chess engine thinks this is good for black. So let's take a look at this. Can I understand why? So I guess knight takes e5 solves the problem of this knight. And why wouldn't he just come back with the knight? It says, oh yeah, knight takes is a reply there. He probably would come back with the knight. It's good post for it, and then it can move out of the way with tempo and discover an attack along this diagonal. And now knight a4, continuing this way and putting pressure on c4 and keeping these pawns from advancing. Okay, so that's probably the best way to play. I think knight d2. Well, it has an eye on the c4 square, but it's not really. Well, we'll see. After bishop takes and knight takes, I'm not really stopping a4 anymore, and black could play that right away. So I went rook f to. Oh, it's black's move. Black went rook f to b8. It says queen a6. Okay, immediately attacking this knight. The knight would probably, let's take a look at this. Queen a6, knight c4. Yeah, that's a logical move. And then a4. Yeah, so it's the idea of just pushing that a pawn. After queen a4, excuse me, after queen a6, could I try the move knight c3? Just trying to stop it. It says no, knight d3 is a good move. Yeah, this is queen has got a good diagonal there, and the knight can hop into this square, and it's hard to evict, and it makes life a little bit uncomfortable for me. So okay, it'd be a good way for black to play. So black played rook f to b8, and now I went bishop to c3. It says f4 is the move to play here. I didn't want to play f4 because it allows this move c4 with check. So let's check this out. New variation. f4. Can he play c4? I guess I have this move bishop to d4. Okay. So so I was a little bit needlessly worried about that. So I played the move bishop to c3 instead of playing f4, which I had been thinking about. And now, once again, the chess engine likes queen a6. He played queen to b7. And now I play f4. And knight to g4. So far so good. You'll see, actually, this was a pretty well-played game. We're all staying within the range of even, pretty much. Now, knight to g4 comes with the threat of knight to e3, forking the queen and the rook. So I need to do something about that. The engine recommends taking on g7 first. And then there's no time, I guess, for the knight here. The knight comes here. You can play not there. Queen to c3. Ah, that's the idea. You can play queen to c3, attacking the knight and defending the bishop. So if he takes on f1, you've effectively gotten two pieces for the rook because you can rescue the bishop. What if he tries to trap the bishop? Then he can come out on h6. Okay, so that's the way that you can deal with this threat of knight to e3. I played rook to f3, another way of dealing with it, but not quite as accurate. He goes rook c8. I go h3, kicking the knight, and he went back to f6. So, you know, I seem to have survived the opening and have a slight edge here, typical kind of opening advantage. And the game continues on like this. This move here, okay, rook c to f1. I was having trouble coming up with a plan here. It says a4 is a move to play, and that's an interesting idea. It clamps down on black, so black can never play a4. But it does leave white with a weakness on b3 that's permanent. This will always be a backwards pawn, so I'd always have to defend it. So I'm sort of reluctant to play a move like a4. Other tries might be queen d3. Okay, I play rook cf1. I think the problem is my kingside attack just doesn't seem to have much future. So now it says he should push on with a4 once again. Knight b6 he played. And now bishop takes f6, and e5 is a way for white to get an advantage here. So bishop takes, and e5, hitting the bishop and forcing an exchange here. I play this a little bit later, but under less favorable circumstances. Why can't he take back here? Knight takes d6. Because this pawn is hanging. Yeah, the knight is hitting d6, so this is a double attack. It's hitting the bishop and the pawn. Okay, so that would be a good way to play. I have to get rid of that knight first, though. Right, because the knight can take the pawn on d5 if I ever play e5. So I need to exchange off the knight and then push ahead with e5. Okay, I play exchange the knight on b6 first, and then I play king h1 to get off of this diagonal, c4. And now I do the exchange and push ahead with e5 here. But I've already gotten in trouble by this point. So one point is that when I exchanged off the knight, I'm no longer putting pressure on e6. So I was sort of doing that before he did it. So let's see, when did my position start going downhill? So it started with this move, knight takes b6. It's about even here. And then wasting time getting the king out of trouble. And then he pushes on with c4 anyway, because I still had this move bishop to d4 to block the queen on the move c4. So I was being overly cautious there. Now bishop takes f6. Okay, well, this is all just an even game still. So where did it go downhill? Rook c5, knight c1. Okay, knight c1. Yeah, knight c1 is a bit of a backwards move. Once again, I was having trouble. I realized I couldn't defend this pawn. There's just no way to hold it. He's going to double his pieces, and they can get pieces to attack it more quickly than I can get pieces to defend it. But it says, once again, I can push on with e5 now, and that's probably the thing to do. Leave the knight here. Don't try some crazy knight maneuver. Just push on with e5. So I push the knight here, and it becomes a liability. You'll see later in the game. Rook a c8, and now queen e2. And at this point, yeah, I'm already in big trouble. So queen f2 would have been a better try. Okay. Queen e2, rook takes c4. And now he's got two pieces attacking the knight, and I only have one piece defending it. And I wasn't, I guess I'm still a little bit foggy in my post-Thanksgiving stupor here. So I didn't even notice I was losing the knight here. I play e5, counterattacking, so I mean it keeps him busy for a move. He plays rook c2 attacking my queen. I play queen to e3, which defends the knight, but it's not a great defense. And I think at this point I realized I was losing the knight, because all he has to do is trade off the queen and then grab the knight, and there's really nothing I can do about it. So we back up here. If I had gone to any other square besides e3, say I went to d3, then he could, well, that's not so great either. What does it recommend? It recommends queen e4 now. See if we can find a safe square for the queen. That's the trouble I was having at this point in the game, finding a square for the queen. He could just take the knight, but I don't have to take back. I could take the bishop And black still has the advantage, but it's not so great. But he doesn't have to take the knight right away. He can take the pawn. And if I take back, then rook 8 to c4, he can start harassing my queen. Yeah, I'm just going to be in trouble anyway. So queen e3, not the best move, but all the other moves lose as well. So he trades queens, and then he grabs the knight, and he's just piece up. And there's no way around it. I thought maybe I could get the bishop, but he takes back with check. So I had to move the king. And so I just resigned to this point. So I thought, anyway, a well-played game by this fellow DA54 RGY Harry. So hope you guys enjoyed that one. Leave any comments you have in the section below, and I'll see you again later. Bye.